Front basic bodies construction. A to B, full length front plus 1/8 inches. B to C, center front length, square out from C around 3 inches. A to D, across shoulder front minus 1/8 inches, square down 4 inches from D. B to E, shoulder slope front plus 1/8 inches. E to F, shoulder length. P to G, bust arc plus quarter inch ease, square up around 11 inches from G. F to H, strap measurement plus 1/8. H to I, side length. Draw 1/4 inch parallel lines to H to I for cup size P. I to J, side length. B, center front waist. C, center front neck. E, shoulder at armhole. F, shoulder at neck. I, armpit. J, waist at side. Draw a perpendicular line F for front neck guideline. Draw front neck shape by 1/8 inch inside the guideline. E to K, bust depth. Draw a horizontal line from K to center front and mark L. L to M, bust span plus quarter inch. P to N, dot placement, square down 3 bar 16 inch. Connect J to N. J to O, front waist arc plus quarter inch ease minus dot placement. Join N to M. Connect M to O and extend line M to P equal to M to N. Draw smooth inward curve line from J to P and N to B for waistline. Lower the dot point by 5/8 inch for smoother fit. C to Q equal to mid of C to L. Q to R equal to across chest plus quarter inch ease. Square up and down from R for armhole guideline. Draw front armhole using French curve number 17 from E to I through R. Trace the front pattern as shown in green color. Now we are going to see how to make basic front bodies. To make this pattern, the following measurements are required: full length front, center front length, across shoulder front, bust arc, shoulder slope front, bust depth, shoulder length, strap front, side length, bust span, across chest, waist arc front. First, draw a vertical line. Mark A, then from A measure down your full length front. Then label B. From B measure your center front length upwards. Then label C. From C square across the line around 3 inches. Then from A square across. Then measure your across shoulder front, then reduce 1/8. Measure your across shoulder minus 1/8. Then label D. From D square down to 4 inches. Then mark from B to the square down line. The length should equal to your shoulder slope front plus 1/8. Then label E. Draw a line. Then from E measure your shoulder length. Mark your shoulder length, then label as F, connect E to F. Then square across from B. The length of the line should be equal to bust arc plus 1/4 inch. Measure your bust arc plus 1/4 inch. Then mark G. Then square up from G around 11 inches. Then from F measure your strap measurement, add 1/8 to it and mark on the vertical line. then label H. From H, measure your side length, mark and label I. Then from H, mark 1/4 inch outside and make a parallel line. Draw a parallel line to G2I. This 1/4 inch is for B size cup. If the cup size is different, your measurement will vary. You can see the chart and mark accordingly. Then from I, measure your side length again and mark on the new line. Then label as J. Connect I to J. Now we have found all the corners of the basic pattern of front. B is your center front waist, C is your center front neck, E is your shoulder at armhole, F is your shoulder at neck, I armpit, J waist at side. So now we find all the corners of front basic bodies. Now we have to connect F to C for neckline. This is already be connected as a straight line. Then E to I to make a armhole, I to J side seam, J to B waistline seam. Now we are going to draw the neck shape. For this, draw a perpendicular line from F till it intersect the horizontal line at C, and use your French curve to draw the neckline. Make sure you are making 90° at here, around 1 centimeter. Then draw the curve. The curve goes approximately 1/8 inside the guideline. Then from E, measure your bust depth on the guideline and mark K. Make a horizontal line from center front which touches K and extend the line then label L. From L, measure your bust span, add 1/4 inch to it and mark. And label M. We are adding 1/2 inch ease at the bust arc, so 1/4 inch goes to the bust span, balance 1/4 inch will come after the bust point. Then from B, measure horizontally, mark your dot placement and label N. From here, make a horizontal line, vertical line for 3/8 and mark N. Connect J to N. Then from J, measure your front waist arc plus ease. Here we are giving 1/4 inch ease, then reduce the dot placement, that is B to N. And mark and label as O. J to O equal to your front waist arc plus 1/4 inch ease minus your dot placement. Connect N to M. Measure the length, then connect M to O, extend the line little bit and keep the same measurement of M to N. Then label P. And draw a smooth line from P to J and N to B. We made the dot till the bust point. To give the smooth effect, you can reduce 5/8 at the middle. So for that, mark the midpoint of the dot, connect to M, mark 5/8 and redraw the dot legs. Then we have finished our waist seam. Now we are going to draw armhole. For this, first mark midpoint of C to L. Then label Q
square across from Q measure your across chest and add 1/4 inch ease and mark. Label R. Q to R equal to across chest plus 1/4 inch. Draw a vertical line for a guide to draw the armhole. Draw a perpendicular line to side seam. Draw one perpendicular line to the shoulder seam. Then use the French curve to draw the armhole shape. Now the basic body construction is over. We can trace the pattern. Cut the center front. Side seam. Shoulder. We have to true the dot, so leave extra space here and cut. Crease the dot by creasing the dot leg near to the center front. Then crease the center of the dot. Then cut the pattern. Then true the dot if necessary, true the waistline if necessary. Then cut. Now we made the basic front bodies.
Back bodies construction. A to B full length back, B to C center back length, square out 4 inches from C, A to D across shoulder back, square down 3 inches from D, B to E back arc plus 3/4 inch, square up from E, A to F back neck plus 1/8 inch, P to G shoulder slope plus 1/8 inch, F to H shoulder length plus half an inch. B to I dot placement, I to J 1.5 inch dot intake, K midpoint of I and J, B to L waist arc plus dot intake plus 1/4 inch ease, L to M 3 bar 16 inch square down, M to N side seam length, B center back waist, C center back neck, F shoulder at neck, M waist at side, N armpit. K to O length of M to N minus 1 inch. Join O to J and extend the line 1/8 inch. Join O to I and extend the line 1/8 inch. Draw a slight curve line from P to I. Draw a slight curve line from K to M. P is mid of F to H. Draw a line from P to O P to Q equal to 3 inches, mark on the line. P to R, quarter inch for dot, P to S, quarter inch for dot. Connect Q to R and extend 1/8 inch above provisional line. Connect Q to S and extend 1/8 inch above the provisional line. Connect F to S with straight line. Connect R to H by straight line. C to T equal to 1/4 of C to B. T to U equal to across back plus quarter inch ease. Square up and down from U for the armhole guideline. Draw armhole from H to N through U. Square down 1 inches from F for neck guideline. Mark 3/8 inch diagonally from the intersection point. Draw the back neckline. Trace back bodies as shown in green line.
Now we are going to see how to make basic back bodies. To make the basic back bodies, we need following measurements: full length back, center back length, across shoulder back, bust arc, back neck, shoulder slope back, shoulder length, strap back, side length, across back, waist arc back, and back dot placement. Draw a vertical line. Mark A. Measure from A, full length back, and mark B. A to B is your full length back. Then from B, measure up your center back length. Mark and label C. Then from C, square across around 4 inches. From A, square across and measure your across shoulder back and label D. Square down from D 3 inches. Square across from B. And measure your back arc plus 3/4 inch. And label E. B2E is your back arc plus 3/4 inch ease. Square up from E around 11 inches. Then mark from A back neck plus 1/8 inch ease. Then label F. A to F is your back neck plus 1/8. Then measure from B to the vertical line, square down from D. The length should equal to your shoulder slope measurement back plus 1/8 inch. And label G. Connect F to G and extend the line. Then measure from F in the shoulder line. Measure your shoulder length, add 1/2 inch for dot and mark. Then label H. F to H is your shoulder length plus 1/2 inch. From B, mark horizontally. Measure your dot placement. And mark I. B to I is your dot placement. From I, measure 1.5 inch horizontally and mark J. I to J 1.5 inch. This is your dot intake. Mark midpoint of I to j and label K. Then from B, measure your waste arc, add your dot intake, then add your ease, then mark L. Here I am taking quarter inch ease. Label L. P to L is your waste arc plus add dot intake plus quarter inch ease. From L, square down 3 bar 16 inches. And mark M. From M, measure your side seam length, then label N. M to N is your side seam length. Connect M to N. Now we mark all the corners. B is your center back waist, C is your center back neck, F is your shoulder at neck, M is your waist at side, N is your armpit. We already made shoulder seam and side seam. We have to make neckline, armhole curve and waistline. Draw a perpendicular line from K. The length should be less than 1 inch. Then side seam. Measure your side seam. Then reduce 1 inch. And mark O. Connect O to J and extend the line 1/8. Join O to J and extend the line 1/8. Join O to I and extend the line 1/8 more. Connect as a slight curved line. Then draw a slight curved line from J to M. Now we made the waistline seam. Now I am going to draw the shoulder dot. For this, first mark midpoint between F and H. And label as P. Draw a line from P to O. Then mark 3 inches down from P and label as Q. From P, mark 1/4 inch on both the sides for a dot and label S and R. Connect Q to R and extend 1/8 additionally from the provisional line. Connect Q to S and extend 1/8 more. Connect F to S with a straight line. Connect R to H by straight line. So now we made a shoulder seam. Measure from C to B, then mark 1/4 of the measurement and label T. C to T is 1/4 of C to B. Square across. From T, measure horizontally your across back and add 1/4 inch. And label U. T to U is your across back plus 1/4 inch ease. Square up and down around 1 inches as a guideline. Draw a perpendicular line from N for guideline. Draw a perpendicular line from H for a guideline. Then use the armhole. Use the French curve to draw the armhole. your arm mold is constructed. Then draw a perpendicular line from F. Mark 3/8 diagonally. Mark 3/4 straight. Then draw the back neck curve. Now your basic back body's construction is over. You can cut the pattern from C to F, F to H, to N, to M, to B. Since we have a dots at the shoulder and waist, truing is required. So leave more space, both shoulder and waist, then cut. Crease the dot leg which is nearer to center. Crease the center of the dot. Cup the pattern. Then draw the straight line. Crease the dot leg nearer to center back. Crease the center of the dot. Cup the pattern. Cup the pattern. Before cutting the side seam, take your front bodies and match both the side seam together, and make sure you are getting a smooth waistline and both the side seams are matching. Then through the sides, through the waist seam if required, then cut the pattern. Cup the pattern. Then before cutting the side seam, make sure your front and back side seam are matching, and it will form a smooth shape at the waist, and true at the dot level if required. Once everything is okay, then you can cut the waist seam. Then check your shoulder seam matching. Close the dot. Match neck. Close the dot. Make sure that you will have a smooth and continuous neckline and smooth armhole, and both the shoulders are matching. Once all the matching has been done, we have to give the detailing. Draw the center front and center back lines, notches, other labels. Now we made basic bodies front and back.
Basic front skirt construction. A to B equal to skirt length A to C equal to front hip depth. C to D equal to front hip arc plus half an inch ease. A to E equal to C to D. B to F equal to C to D. Join E to F. A to G equal to front waist arc plus dot intake plus ease. Refer the chart for the front and back dot intake and number of dots according to the waist to hip difference. Square up from G. T2H equal to side hip depth. A is center front waist, B is center front bottom, F side bottom, T is side hip, H side waist. A to I dot placement. I to J dot intake. J to K 1.5 inch. K to L dot intake. Mark midpoint of J to I. Draw a vertical line for 3.5 inch. Mark M. Connect J to M and I to M. Mark midpoint of L to K and draw a vertical line for 3.5 inch. Mark N. Join L to N and K to N. Join H to A by slightly curved line. Trace the pattern as shown in the green color.
Now we are going to learn how to make basic skirt front. In this, the measurement required are waist circumference, hip circumference, skirt length, hip depth front, hip depth side, waist arc front, hip arc front, dot placement front. First, draw a vertical line. The measurement should be equal to skirt length. And label A and B. Then from A, mark hip depth. Measure your front hip depth, mark on the line, then label C. Then draw a perpendicular line from C. The length of the line should be equal to your front hip arc measurement plus ease. Here I am going to give half an inch ease. Then measure label D. Then draw a horizontal line from A length of the line should be equal to C2D. Then label E. Square across from B length of the line equal to C2D. Label F. Join E to F. Then mark from A. The measurement should be equal to front waist arc plus dot intake plus ease. Dot intake is calculated based on your waist circumference and hip circumference. You can see the chart. In this you can see different waist to hip differences, number of dots and dot intakes are tabulated. For example, in my measurement, the waist to hip difference is 11 inches. So, front dot intake is 1/4 inch and I have to make 2 dots. Similarly, back dot intake is 2/4 inch and I have to make 2 dots. You can check your waist to hip differences and make the dot intakes and number of dots as per this table. Now I am going to make 1/4 inch front dot and 2/4 inch back dot. Measure from A. The measurement should be equal to front waist arc plus dot intake plus ease. Ease I am going to take 1/8 inches. Then label G. From G, square up around 1 inches. Then you have to mark H, that is equal to side hip depth. Keep your side hip depth and mark H. Then use the hip curve to draw the hip shape from H to D. It should have a smooth curve it will go around 1 inch straight, then make a smooth curve. Now we have all the corners. A is center front waist, B is center front bottom, F is side bottom, D is side hip, H is side waist. Now we are going to make a dots. We have seen the chart. For this waist and hip differences, I have to make 2 dots. Take your dot placement measurement and mark. Then label I. Then mark the dot intake. Then label J. Then in the same line, mark 1.5 inch and label K. Again the dot intake, label G. Mark the midpoint between J and I. And draw a vertical line. Length of the line should be equal to 3.5 inch. Then label M. Connect J to M. Connect I to M. Mark midpoint of G to K. And label L. Draw a vertical line. Length of the line should be 3.5 inch for the front dot, and label N. Connect G to N, connect K to N. Mark K to L dot intake, then mark midpoint between L to K and draw a vertical line, the length of the line should be equal to 3.5 inch. Then connect K to N and L to N. This will make the second dot. Then connect H to A with a slight curve. Now you can trace A to C to B to F to D to H, then A to make the front dot. Since we have a dots at the waist level, we have to true this and cut. Now your front skirt pattern is ready. Give the labels and mark necessary marking, then cut. Draw the grind line parallel to the center front. Give the details, hip line, bottom line, center front, side seam. Then this is a provisional waistline. Mark your puncheon circle half an inch above the dot point. Mark your notches, one at the hip level and dot legs. Now the basic skirt front is completed.
Back skirt construction method. A to B skirt length, A to C front hip depth, C to D back hip arc plus half an inch ease, C to E back hip depth, A to F equal to C to D. P to G equal to C to D. Join F to G. A to H equal to back waist arc plus dot intake plus 1/8 inch ease. Square up around 1 inch from H. Draw the back side seam. D to I equal to side hip depth. A to J dot placement, J to K back dot intake, K to L 1.5 inch, L to M back dot intake, mark midpoint of J to K, draw a vertical line for 5.5 inch and mark N. Connect J to N and K to N. Mark midpoint of L and M. Draw a vertical line for 5.5 inch. Mark O. Join L and O and M and O. Join E to I with slight curve line. Trace the pattern as shown in the green line.
Now you are going to learn how to make basic skirt back. To make the basic skirt, the following measurements are required: waist circumference, hip circumference, skirt length, hip depth front, hip depth back, hip depth side, waist arc back, hip arc back, dot placement back. First, draw a vertical line. The length of the line should be equal to your skirt length. And label A and B. Then from A, mark your front hip depth. Then square across the line. The length of the line should be equal to back hip arc plus half an inch ease. And label D. Then C to E is your back hip depth. Measure your back hip depth and label E. Square across from A. The length of the line should be equal to C to D. Then label F. Square across from B. the length of the line should be equal to C to D. Then label G. Connect F to G. Connect F to G. Then from A, measure your bag waste arc plus your dot intake plus 1/8 ease. This measurement equal to your back waste arc plus your dot intake plus 1/8 inch ease. Dot intake we have discussed while making the basic skirt front. Then label H. Square up around 1 inches from H. Then mark your side hip depth from D to this vertical line. And label I. Then use the hip curve to draw the hip shape from I to D. Start with a smooth line. Draw a smooth line. Then from A, measure horizontally your dot placement. And label J. Then measure your back dot intake and label K. Measure 1.5 inch, then mark L. Mark your second back dot intake and label M. Mark midpoint of J to K. And draw a vertical line for 5.5 inch and label N. Connect J to N, connect K to N. Mark midpoint of L and M. Draw a vertical line for 5.5 inch. Mark O. Join L to O and M to O. Using the hip curve, connect I to E. Draw a perpendicular line at E around 1 inches, should be 90 degree. Then draw a smooth curve from I to E. Now the draft is completed, and give the labeling. Hip line, bottom line, center back, side seam, waistline, and mark notches at the hip level, dot endpoints, then punch and circle half an inch above the dot endpoints. Now the drafting is over. Now you can cut the pattern. You can cut center back, bottom, side seam. Since you have a dots at the waistline, you have to true the dot and cut. For that, leave 1 inch extra initially, then true the dot, then cut. we cut the back and front basic skirt except the waist seam. Now I'll show you how to true the waist seam. First, crease the line. Center of the dot and dot leg which is nearer to the center front. Similarly, the second dot also crease the center of the dot and crease the dot which is nearer to center front. Back, crease the center of the dot, crease dot which is nearer to center back. Center of the dot, dot leg which is nearer to center back. Then cup the pattern, fold the dot, secure with tape, cup the pattern, put a tape, fold the center of the dot, close the dot, cup the pattern, close the dot, cup the pattern. Now join side seams together. Then pin it. Then make sure you are starting at 90° here, 90° at back, then your waistline should be smooth. Use the French curve. Now we made a smooth line at the waist C. Cut as a smooth curve line. Now your basic front and back skirt pattern is ready. If you want to do the test fit, you have to give the seam allowance as per the guidelines given. Trace this into, do the test fit, then trace this into the cardboards. Now you learn how to make basic skirt front and back. Now we finish the truing of back and front basic skirts. This is without.
Let's see how to make basic sleeve. A to B sleeve length, A to C cap height. You can take 1/3 of armhole round. Square across from C for the bicep line. D is mid of C to B. D to E 3/4 inch up for the elbow level placement. A to F half of armhole round plus 1/4 inch. A to G equal to A to F. B to H equal to C to F minus 2 inches. B to I equal to B to H. Join F to H and G to I. Square across from E and mark K. Square across from E and mark J. Divide A to F into 4 equal parts. L 5/8 of an inch outside, M 3/16 outside, N 3/8 inch inside. Divide A to G into 4 equal parts. O 3/4 of an inch outside, P 3/16 inch outside, Q half an inch inside. Draw armhole curve by connecting F, N, M, L, A, O, P, Q and G. J to R equal to quarter inch outside, R to S equal to mid of R to E, R to T equal to 1 inch downwards, S to T equal to R to S. H to U equal to 3/4 inch, connect T to U and extend the line T to V equal to R to H. Square across from I, V to W equal to H to I, connect W to K with slight curve line, trace the sleeve pattern as shown in the green color line.
Now we are going to discuss how to make basic sleeve. To make the basic sleeve, we need sleeve length measurement and armhole round. Armhole round you can measure from your basic front and back bodies. Record your measurements. First, draw a vertical line. Label A. Measure your sleeve length. Mark and label B. A to B is your sleeve length. Then mark your cap height. Cap height is the measurement from the bicep line to top of the sleeve. To mark the cap height, calculate 1/3 of armhole round. Then label C. square across from C to make a bicep line. Then mark the midpoint between C to B and label D. Then from D mark 3/4 inch up label E. E is your elbow level. Measure your half of armhole round plus 1/4 inch from A. Mark label F. Connect A to F. Then keep the same measurement, half of the armhole round plus 1/4 inch, and mark on the bicep line and label G. Connect A to G. Square across from B. Then measure C to F. Then minus 2 inches and mark horizontally and label H. B2H equal to C2F minus 2 inches. Then keep the same measurement. Then mark I. B2I equal to B2H. Join F2H and G2I. Then draw the elbow line. then label J and K. Then divide A to F into 4 equal parts. Square off from the first point 5/8 inch outside. From the second point mark 3 bar 16 inch outside and label L and M. From the third point mark 3/8 3/8 inch inside and label N. Then divide A to G into 4 equal parts. Mark 3/4 inch outside and label O. From the second point mark 3 bar 16 inch outside, then label P. From the third point mark 1/2 inch inside and label Q. Now I am going to show you how to make armhole curve. To make the armhole curve, use the French curve. This is number 17. You can use the French curve from M to F in this position. Then keep your French curve like this to connect A to M. Then turn your French curve, then connect A to P, then turn the French curve and connect G to P to make a armhole. Connect F, N and M. Then turn the French curve, connect M, L and A. Then turn the French curve, connect A, O and P. then turn the French curve and connect P, Q and G. This will complete your armhole curve. Now we are going to make a dot at elbow level. For this, extend the line 1/4 inch outside from J and label R. Then mark midpoint between E and R and label as S. Mark 1 inch below R and connect the line then measure the distance from S to R, keep the same measurement from S to the line and label T. From H, mark 3/4 inch inside and label U. Connect T to U and extend the line. Measure from J to H and keep the same measurement from T to this point and label as V. T to V equal to J to H. Then extend the line from I around 2 inches. Then measure H to I. Mark from V to the extended line and label W. Draw a slightly curved line from W to K. And draw a slightly curved line from V to W. Now your sleeve draft is completed. You can trace F, N, M, L, A, O, P, Q, G, K, W, V, T, S, R and F. cut the pattern. Here we have a dot, so close the dot and through the underarm line. Leave extra space here. Mark the midpoint. Connect to S. Crease the bottom dot leg. Crease center of the dot. Cup the pattern. Then blend this if necessary. And check whether your side seam is matching, underarm is matching. Now we made basic sleeve.